Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am here in my classroom. It is the last day that I'll be working here. Yesterday was the last day of classes, and I am tearing my whole classroom apart. It's empty and dead looking and horrible, and I'm sitting in a student desk. Um, yeah, I just thought, hey, I'll record here, and the lighting is terrible, and my camera is not very great. So sorry about that wobbliness, blurriness, but whatever. We gotta talk about Michael Crichton. Okay, so welcome to the Michael Crichton read along. We are reading book crap. Which one was this? Number 16, I think. Pirate Latitudes. Ooh. So before I jump into the actual book, of course, I've got to do my sort of plug for Mike's book reviews. Mike has this channel here on YouTube called Mike's Book Reviews. Really great channel. I highly recommend it. He started doing the Michael Crichton reread because he's read all of these books before. I decided to join in, and I call it the Michael Crichton read along because I've never read most of these. And we're getting close to the end. We started February, I think it was, of last year, and now we've just got 2 more months to go after this one. So we're going to end in July of 2022. Anyway, so it's one book a month, Michael Crichton, going in publication order, and that's all you got to know. That's it. It's been fun. Overall, it's been a great journey. Some of them, not that great of books, to be honest, but a lot of them have been really fantastic. And this one, Pirate Latitudes, I'd say is somewhere in the middle, leaning towards the better, the higher quality end. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it. Very action packed, very fast paced. I read it in just a couple of days. It was really quick and easy to read. You can see as Michael Crichton wrote more and more and more, his stories, even if the actual story wasn't maybe necessarily quite as good, the writing was smoother, right? It was like, this just flows. Some of his earlier books were a little bit of a slog. And I don't want to sound too negative, just a little bit of a slog, not a true slog, I guess. Anyway, this one, yeah, like I said, this was a blast to read. It went really quickly. I think I read it in 2 or 3 days, which is these days for me when I'm so busy is actually kind of rare. But what is it about? Pirate Latitudes is actually so Michael Crichton is really well known for sci-fi thriller type stories, right? And so when I saw this title, I thought maybe it was like computer pirates, like pirating music or pirating something like that. I don't know. Like I thought it was a metaphor, maybe. No, it's like an actual story about actual pirates. Takes place in 1665. Yeah, 1665 in the Caribbean, and it's like reading a novel version of the Pirates of the Caribbean in a lot of ways, except it's a little bit bleaker. It goes, where the Disney movie doesn't want to go, obviously, because it's a family friendly movie. This one kind of goes there, and it describes a few of the gruesome realities of life in the Caribbean in the 1600s. So basically, starts out in Port Royal, which is a town in Jamaica, and it's a British colony where pirating is illegal, but privateering is okay. And it was interesting. I had to kind of Google a little bit and figure out what the distinction was. Basically, a privateer was practically a pirate, but with the government's permission. So privateers, they would go out and um, attack or get attacked and then retaliate against ships from foreign nations or foreign entities and steal the booty and kill the people and stuff and bring back and share some of that loot with the government. So they were like basically mercenaries, I guess, for the government. And I'm sure there's a lot more nuance to it than that. I was reading a little bit, but some of it, to be honest, kind of went over my head. The stuff that I found online, it was kind of hard. It gets blurry, the difference between a pirate and a privateer. But there's several moments in this book where a person calls somebody else a pirate, and they're like, "How dare you? I'm a privateer. I'm not a pirate." Because piracy is punishable by death, and being a privateer is sort of an honorable thing, right? It's like you're a hero of the town if you bring back a bunch of gold to share with everybody. So anyway, this guy, this privateer, he gets word that there's a Spanish warship that is supposedly full of gold that has been that's sitting in this bay, and it's near a Spanish fortress. but because the ship was damaged or something like that, it's not able to make its trip back to Spain, and so they start planning this excursion to go try to steal it and bring it back and share the wealth with the British crown, steal it from the Spaniards and share it with the British. And so I thought that was basically the whole story, and that's kind of what it's presented as, right? But there's a lot more to it than that. They go on this trip and have all these adventures. It covers a little bit of like, it's like a heist a little bit, right? It talks about the preparation and the different team members that he sort of assembles who each have their specialty. And then sailing there, they run into some trouble, and then they get there and they run into lots of trouble, and it's a big adventure and stuff. But then making the trip back, it's like the Odyssey practically. Making the trip back is half the book. It's there's lots more trouble coming their way even after they may or may not get the gold. Well, I'll just spoil it for you. It's not a huge spoiler that they do get the gold. But yeah, and even when he gets back to Jamaica, his troubles are not over. So overall, uh, some twists and turns that I kind of wasn't expecting, right? Because the story at the beginning, it feels like, oh, this is a very simple, cut and dry, just sort of adventure story. Like we're going there, we're fighting these people, we're coming back. There's a bit more to it than that. So that was surprising, and it was a pleasant surprise. It was fun. There were lots of great moments, lots of fun, lots of cool adventure and stuff. They fight a kraken. They go through a hurricane. He deals with treachery from known enemies and treachery from people that were supposed to be his friends. And lots of there's prison breaks. There's scaling the cliffs of insanity. Not really called the Cliffs of Insanity. That's a Princess Bride reference. But there's just all sorts of cool stuff. Really fun adventure action story. Lots of fun. A couple negatives. Again, Michael Crichton, he doesn't seem to. He's still struggling to write the female characters, and I feel like he doesn't really. He's a little unapologetic. Oh, you know what? I guess I should have mentioned this. I feel bad. I don't mean it as an insult. It's just not something that he seemed to really focus on. Um, but it does feel a little bit bad and criticizing this book because this was published after he died. So in the back of the book, there's a little note. It says, Pirate Latitudes was discovered as a complete manuscript in his files after his death in 2008. So this was published, I think, 2009. And they just found it in his stuff, and they're like, "Hey, this book is complete, and so we're gonna publish it." And to be honest, a part of me kind of wonders if it really is complete, because it does seem a little on the simple side. Like there's certain things that sort of get glossed over, especially toward the end, and it made me sort of stop and wonder. I wonder, was he going to revise this one more time? Was he going to give this another pass through and maybe fill this out a little bit more? But I mean, it's really not a big detriment to the story. So anyway, I'm just rambling. The female characters again is sort of an issue. So if that bothers you, you might not appreciate some of the characters in this book. They're not all treated. It's not as bad as like the last book, as the book next, or State of Fear. Not every female character here is just like a sex object, but a few of them are. And yeah, that's I'll leave it at that. There is one really cool pirate female character. She's pretty cool, pretty hardcore. Sorry, I'm like stumbling over my words. This is a terrible video, and I'm pretty much just gonna probably about end it there. I don't know if there's much more to say. Overall, I would say, yeah, it's a good book. I plan on keeping this copy. There have been several Michael Crichton books that after I read them, I thought, I don't really want to hold on to it. I'm going to donate it or give it away to somebody. This one, I think I'll hold on to. This one's actually pretty fun. I would like to share it with my kids someday, although there are a few things that are a little racy, a little inappropriate, but nothing wildly vulgar or explicit. A few sexual implications, not really, not explicit, not graphic, just sort of implied. And also, there's a fair amount of violence and some bloodshed, right? So there's lots of cool pirate fights and stuff like that. So overall, fun action adventure. Probably would recommend it for anybody. Maybe like, is it PG-13? Yeah, probably PG-13, I guess. Maybe not even quite that bad. I don't know why I'm giving it a rating. I haven't done that with any of the other Michael Crichton books. Long story short, I'm going to hold on to it. I think it's worth reading again, worth keeping, and worth sharing. So it was a fun book. Next month, just a heads up, I don't know how able I will be to record a video next month. We'll see. Just lots of stuff going on with the end of school and summer coming up and things like that. So anyway, the book for June is Micro, and I know it's already June. I know my schedule has just been insane. I'm sorry. Not that anybody here really cares. I feel like probably you don't, but for me, I've been trying to stick to the schedule. I finished Pirate Latitudes a couple weeks ago. I just never got around to actually recording the video. Things have been crazy, and things are going to continue to be crazy for me. But anyway, the book for June is called Micro. So we're going to talk about this hopefully next month or maybe sometime this summer, whatever I am able to get to it. But I'm going to start reading it right away, and I'll read it at least. I don't know when my review will be out. So thanks for watching, and enjoy your life.